I've got all this stuff taking up space, but I don't want to be bothered with the hassle of having a garage sale. Well, why don't you call Reliable Resellers? Reliable Resellers? Yeah, Reliable Resellers. They buy all sorts of items from toys to jewelry to collectibles, and best of all, they come to you and pay in cash. Oh wow, how do I get in touch with them? Easy. Just call 813-421-5676 or go to their website, reliableresellers.net. I'm calling Reliable Resellers right now.
But you have to start.
Right.
If you're sitting in your bed, waking up in the morning, go, oh man, I wish I had my own company. Oh man, and you can't have a woe is me attitude.
These successful business owners know that their customers are the reason that they're successful.
Right. You will fail. It's okay.
Yeah.
Because when you fail, you're going to go, what did I do wrong? Mm-hmm. And then you're going to do it again.
And I had a crush on him. Like when I go back, I was reading through one of my diaries from back then, and it was talking all about how I had this crush on Bobby. After high school, I think we kind of lost touch for a little bit because I moved.
Yeah, but then I found her on MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reached out, stalked her on MySpace a little bit.
A little bit.
And then we just
she stole Izzy from me.
Okay.
It was my character. She stole him.
We wrote this together.
And we were working at Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I finally had it with Amazon. So it was, I'm going to open a restaurant. I want my own business.
Yeah.
So I talked her into it. And it has to have pizza because that's what I eat.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if you look at our menu, it's stuff that I eat plus salads.
It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And I think one reason a lot of places don't make it is because they invest the money, but they don't invest the time.
Never use the amount of yeast they tell you to use.
No.
Okay.
No, it was so bad. We came in the next day and like dough was overflowing on hearts. And
so in Sefner.
This is not what happened.
This is what happened.
He's going to tell you one story and then I'm going to tell you what actually happened.
Okay.
So,
people notice a difference, but they don't know what the difference is. They just notice a difference.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the best pizza I've had here in a while. I'm like, yeah, Vista Grande.
me and my dad drove here. It's like, okay, I really like this. Mm-hmm. It's nice. It's small. It's like Ebor without all the alcoholics.
Liquor.
Yeah.
But also throughout COVID, throughout all of that, we had people coming in 3 times a week because they did not want us to close. And they would say specifically like, I just don't want to see you close, so I'm going to keep supporting you. And they were amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing community.
Yeah.
The more I get to know the people here, the more I love it.
Welcome to The Art of Business. I'm your host, Eric Baker. I sit down with entrepreneurs right here in Dade City and the surrounding areas to find out about their backgrounds, how they built their businesses, and what their secrets for success are. Today, I'm joined with Mr. and Mrs. Robert and Jessica Borras. They are the founders and owners of American Pizza Oven. American Pizza Oven is located at 37941 Meridian Avenue in Dade City, Florida. They're on Facebook at APO Dade City, and you can find them online at AmericanPizzaOven.com. Collectively, they're business owners, entrepreneurs, writers and published authors, musicians, video game enthusiasts, members of the Dade City Chamber of Commerce, and new homeowners. Robert and Jessica are a lot of fun. They've built a successful business in a highly competitive space where 60% of those who try ultimately fail within the first 3 years. Meanwhile, they're going on their 5th year right now. They're impressive people, and their desire to be successful really shows. They took a lot of chances, assumed a lot of risks, and they share a ton of knowledge in this podcast. But before we just jump into it, Robert, Jessica, and I talk about Pokemon Go.
Our restaurant has 3 Pokestops right there. So just recently, I started playing again, and then everyone else at the restaurant kind of got on board. So
Yeah.
Now it's a little rival between red and blue at the restaurants.
Gotcha. Okay. When did you guys start playing?
Oh, what? Whenever it came out, we played a little bit.
2017?
Yeah, back in
2016.
2016 it first came out. Yeah.
We played for a little bit, then we're like,
It killed our phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we stopped playing for a while, and then just recently started playing again.
Right on. So probably the most important question of the entire podcast. Valor, Mystic, or Instinct?
Is it Mystic that's blue?
Is Mystic blue?
Yes, Mystic
Yeah,
is blue.
blue.
Mystic.
Blue. Okay,
Blue.
got it. And you're both blue.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
My
all right.
cooks are red.
Yeah.
So when they're cooking, I'll go outside because I don't have to cook sometimes. And I just take the gyms.
Yeah.
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 So are there a lot of gyms in downtown Dade
Yeah.
to train
Oh,
at?
so many.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
right on.
So many. And so many stops because it's usually based off of historic stuff. So all of the historic landmarks, the
Yeah.
churches,
Yep.
the murals, all of those are Pokestops. The courthouse, like all of it is.
Wow,
So,
okay.
yeah, when you look at the map in Dade City, it's full.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I used to play Pokemon Go quite a bit. I lost interest when they started charging for the raids and stuff. To a
Wait,
dollar.
what?
Yeah, they started charging $1 to do the raids for the legendaries and stuff back when it first came out.
Oh.
And I just
Because
lost
now
interest.
you can get a pass by going to a gym
Yeah.
and spinning it. And
Okay,
you get
gotcha.
I haven't spent a dime on
passes.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's all free.
Huh. Okay. And you have the legendaries and stuff too?
I don't know.
Oh.
We haven't tried one of those raids yet. This is
Yeah.
just the two of us usually, so we
Yeah.
don't even bother.
Gotcha.
That.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now let's start to really get into this thing. Let's start to set the foundation here. I want to get to know you two a little bit. So I want to learn about your individual stories first and then your combined stories. So Jessica, I understand that you're from Tampa originally, and Robert, you're from Dade City.
I was born in Dade City, yeah.
Born in Dade City. Okay. So tell us what you two were like as kids. I mean, what type of stuff were you interested in? What did you want to be when you grow up? I mean, give us the backstories of Mr. and Mrs. Robert and Jessica Borras.
You go first.
Okay. Well, we went to middle school together. So we went to Franklin, and then we went to Blake.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't date at all then, though. What did I like? What, Hot Topic?
Yeah, Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy, yep.
You had a band.
That was after. That was after high school, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a band with my buddy.
Okay.
Lasted a couple years. It was fun, but no. I don't know. It's because we've known each other for so long. We just didn't really get together until like 2011, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was raised in Tampa. I was raised in Palmetto Beach
Yeah.
near Borras City, and it's just a small neighborhood. And so that was my life for the first 18 years. And then I rebelled and moved up north with a boyfriend. And that lasted for 3 months.
Where'd you move to? Where's up north?
Inverness. And it was,
Okay.
I've got to admit, like, it wasn't the best relationship, but I love Inverness. It's
Yeah.
so nice up there. It's so quiet. And that's what Dade City kind of has brought back because Tampa's busy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just busy.
It's getting busier,
and
too.
I'm not a huge fan of busy.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But that's what we were raised with. And, but yeah, Palmetto Beach. A lot of reading and writing when I was younger. A lot of reading and writing
Okay.
when I was younger, and that was about it.
Yeah.
We-
Okay.
I don't think we had our first like VCR until I was a teenager. It was just do the cable thing. And
I think I've always had cable.
Okay.
Always had cable until like 6 years ago. I just dumped it. But
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
VCR, Nintendo, like old Nintendo, NES.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
man.
remember
Yeah.
watching a lot of TV as a kid, though.
I did.
Did you?
I watched a lot of TV when I was
What were you into? Cartoons? Anything?
Oh, let's see. Turtles,
Yeah. Right on.
He-Man,
Yeah. Yeah.
Batman.
Me too.
What else?
We would have been friends.
That's really the main three.
Yeah.
I remember
Okay.
Yeah.
watching like Matlock and In the Heat of the Night.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah.
Murder, She
Yeah.
Wrote now.
Nope. Nope.
So you two met in the 7th grade, I believe I heard, and I heard something about someone named Carlos. I have no idea. Can you guys give us?
Oh, yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
give us
I
the
know.
backstory here?
So we had the same classes. It's block structure, so we have all the same classes. So at one point, Carlos, he
He asked if you wanted to date me, and you said
I said no.
No.
I thought he was just messing around.
Mm-hmm.
So because we were both nerds, and we're still nerds.
And I had a crush on him. Like when I go back, I was reading through one of my diaries from back then, and it was talking all about how I had this crush on Bobby. But Carlos asked him if you want to date me. He said no, so I gave up on that. I assumed you liked Tiffany, and I was done with it.
Who's Tiffany?
I don't know. Tiffany in my
Uh-oh.
in my diary. There's
Uh-oh.
Tiffany.
I have no clue who Tiffany is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she liked you.
Okay. I
But,
don't know who it was.
but yeah, so that was it for that, and we just became friends instead.
Right on.
And then after high school, I think we kind of lost touch for a little bit because I moved.
Yeah, but then I found her on MySpace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reached out, stalked her on MySpace a little bit.
A little bit.
And then we just had a text message that went for 5 years.
Yeah, it was a long text message. So if I wasn't dating anybody, it was just a long same text message. Then if I started dating someone, the text messages stopped.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, I love it. So, all right. So, Jessica, now you're an experienced writer as well as a published author. I have found at least 2 books that you have published and listed for sale up on Amazon. So you have Chronicles of the Mythical Rebellion, The Origin, and Chronicles of the Mythical Rebellion, The Land of Superstition.
Yes.
Can you just tell us a little bit about? I mean, I've read the backstory, but can you just give us the history of what the book is all about?
Sure. So it's a series. It's a youth novel that I think more adults have read than kids at this point, but it's a fantasy youth novel about a creature called Neola who runs away from home, and he finds out that the land that he is living in is much larger than he actually thought it was.
Okay.
And so it's a portal fantasy, I think is what they call it, because you go through different portals to different parts of the land.
Yeah.
But he finds out that there's a king who is domesticating mythical creatures and turning them into house servants, and collecting taxes from it, to get rich.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
the series is him going to different parts of the land and trying to find people to fight with the rebels.
Gotcha. So what was your motivation for writing these books?
It started out completely different than what it actually was. It actually started with me and Robert walking at night and going over Izzy and what he should be and what the book should be in, and I don't even remember.
She stole Izzy from me.
Okay.
It was my character.
She
stole him.
We wrote this together.
And
in a sense.
I took the name Izzy because of Ishmael that I worked with at Walmart. Mm-hmm. So because they call him Izzy, I'm taking that name. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then she just took the name and ran with it.
He was supposed to be like an imp.
Yeah.
Who just was a little mischievous imp, and he's turned into much more than what that was to begin with. Yeah, but you still helped me come up with it just became something different.
How long did they take to write?
The first one, 8 years.
8 years. Wow.
The first one was just a project that I'd work on when we had time.
Yeah.
But between working full time and then when we opened the restaurant, it just.
The first restaurant?
The first one. All of the writing got put to the side. We were working 90-hour weeks.
Sure. I get that.
Barely alive, and we were at home. So, everything just stopped. And then we got slower at the first location, and I started writing again. And then we opened the second location. And so it got paused again.
Sure.
So. But now we have employees, so I can sit down once in a while, and I'm working on the third one right now. Finally got over my writer's block. The second one only took a year.
Really? Okay.
From beginning to end.
Okay, so just more time to focus on it.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah. Okay. And so you just mentioned you're working on the third book in the series. So I have started to write a little bit. I'm digging some science fiction stuff, and I've gotten to the point where I'm really good at writing the Cliff Notes version, but creating the characters and the story, it's really hard.
It's a challenge.
What is that creative process like for you?
For me, it's getting the outline down first, beginning to end. If I don't have beginning to end, it's really hard to fill in the in-between.
Yeah.
But once I have that beginning to end, it's not as difficult. I will say for me, I have to sit down and just write as much as I possibly can at once, because if I try to break it up or if I try to go back to it later, it becomes a hot mess.
Okay.
My mind doesn't work well when it comes to retaining information, apparently, even if I'm writing it myself.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
But the character building, some of them I've based off of people I kind of know, their quirks. But for the most part, I just try to give each character its own personality.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I believe you were also voted Dade City's 2021 Local Business Person of the Year.
Apparently, yes.
That sounds exciting. How did that come to be?
No,
we don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe 3 or 4 people voted for me. I don't know.
Nice. Did you get a trophy or something?
No, it's unalignable, I think.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a networking site out there.
Okay.
And I guess just people had voted for me, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay.
I don't know how it happened.
Well, fantastic. So, Robert, I understand, and you touched on this earlier, but so you play the guitar?
Played guitar, piano.
And a few other?
Tried to play drums.
Yeah.
A little bit of bass because it's basically guitar. But yeah, did that so when we went to Blake. So before we went to Blake, they asked us our electives. So I put keyboarding, thinking it was going to be computer keyboarding.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to learn that. I get in, there's keyboards, pianos, and everywhere. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just started playing music, just by dumb luck.
Yeah, right on.
So yeah, learned piano for a couple of maybe 2 semesters, and then me and my friend, he wanted to play guitar, so we tried to play guitar, and we're all playing Final Fantasy and stuff like that. So now we're trying to write video game music, and then we realized no one's gonna have us write music for their video game. So then we tried to make a video game.
Okay. What kind of game?
I think we were doing RPG.
Okay.
That lasted about, I don't know, a week, and then we decided to do the band.
Gotcha.
So
what was the band name?
Apocalyptic Prophecy.
Right. What kind of music?
Metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Metal.
Okay. Did you guys ever record a CD or mixtape or anything?
We were recording, I think it was an EP. Me and Kevin, the other guitarist, which we went to school with, we got our tracks down, but our drummer and our bassist / singer weren't in time.
Okay.
So they were going to go back, but at that point the band was kind of falling apart. So we never completed the EP. I had recordings of a live show from Pegasus Lounge. Might have been Pegasus Lounge.
You guys were doing live shows?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I did about a dozen.
No way.
So,
okay.
They were fun.
So you were pretty decent then. I mean, had to be decent at getting booked at live shows.
You would think, but no.
Okay.
So we play with bands and we're like, wow, they're bad.
Okay.
So it happens.
Okay.
Now, if I went back and listened to what we played then, I'd probably go, ooh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Just because of how you've grown as a person.
Sure.
But we weren't bad. And it was fun. Didn't make any money.
Oh, okay.
But
unpaid, but you were just there for the time, for the good times and the exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
All right, so you also play video games. I believe I heard in a podcast you talked about City Skylines.
Yeah.
I used to play City Skylines a lot. It's an addictive game.
Yeah, I go through cycles on them.
You still playing it now?
I think right now I'm playing Project Zomboid.
Okay, what's that one about?
That's zombie survival, but it's like, you know The Sims? Mm-hmm. You know the old isometric Sims?
Yeah.
So it's like that.
Okay.
But it's like the map of Knoxville.
Yeah, okay.
And it's it's basically The Sims with zombies.
Okay.
So there's mods and stuff you get. So I have like rifles and grenade launchers and all that. And
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, and you guys are also new homeowners. You guys just bought a new house last year.
Yep.
So what's it like being new homeowners?
I feel like we're never there.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that since it's my house that I can go paint the walls. I can get the floors removed. I can put holes in the wall. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
So it's like eventually I want to go paint my room.
Yeah.
Do things like that. But
it is nice. Every once in a while, like when you're taking the garbage out to the curb and you walk back, you're just like, this is my carport.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is mine.
Was it hard to find a place with the way it is right now?
We are so incredibly blessed. We were looking and we saw a few different places that just we thought we were interested in and they didn't pan out for whatever reason. And then right before we put an offer on another place, our realtor, we used, can I say, like who we used?
Please.
Titus Realty, like Shane. He was our
food purveyor.
food guy.
Okay.
Before.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And,
I see. Okay.
And so we had formed a really good relationship with him, and he and his wife own a realtor real estate business.
Realty. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And so they had a house that another one of their clients was going to be selling, and it was the perfect house for us. And
nice.
We got it off market, and
nice.
And no bidding war, no
yeah,
nothing.
It was wonderful. We were super, super blessed.
Yeah, that's nice. Nice to have that connection, especially with the market is right now. It's crazy out there.
Yeah. We they put a new roof on it. We got it tented.
No way.
They were there were signs of termites by the door. So they paid the sellers paid most of the tenting. We paid a little bit more for a different company, but
no, it was amazing.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
I think because we're small business owners, getting that loan was really difficult because you have to
income.
Yeah, it's just the whole, and we
not
had
even income. It was
it's not
income,
having. It's your W-2s,
yeah.
and because we changed EINs when we came out to Dade City, we had another location in Seffner. So when we moved out here, we had different partners who were trying to do a partnership with family. It didn't work out, but so we had a different EIN, and so that's a whole new. W-2, W-4, I don't know.
One of those terms. W numbers.
It's a whole new filing for your taxes.
Sure.
And so we had to have 2 years of that.
Okay.
And they had to be profitable years.
Sure.
In order for us to qualify for the loan. So that was a huge pain. But
it was frustrating because I'm sitting there. I'm like, I know what I bring home every month because we didn't have staff as much yet, so I can actually take a good paycheck. Yeah. And I got money in the bank. I'm like, I want to buy a house. Yep. Why can't I buy a house?
Like
but the guy making $100 a week can buy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I was paying more in rent and all that.
Right.
It was so frustrating.
Right.
Yeah, but it finally happened, and it was the right house for us, and it ended up working out the way it was supposed to. So.
Right on. Awesome. Okay, so this portion of the show is sponsored by Reliable Resellers. Reliable Resellers provides a hassle-free and profitable way to downsize your life. If you want to remove the clutter and you're thinking of downsizing, call the pros at Reliable Resellers, 813-421-5676, or visit them online at reliableresellers.net. All right, so now let's transition. Now let's start talking about American Pizza Oven. So as you guys just mentioned, you first started out over in Seffner, and you were there for about a year and a half.
Yep.
Okay. So, and I understand that you guys decided to do a pizza place because Robert eats pizza every day. People need to eat food. Just seemed like a good fit.
Yes.
Okay. So, but I have to ask a little bit beyond that. So, did you guys do like market research? Did you look around at other competition to see?
No.
You just said pizza. We're just going for it.
Yeah, not in Seffner. No.
Okay.
It was so. I was probably 21, 22, and I tried to buy a bagel shop.
Okay.
And my dad was helping me. So, and my dad's been in restaurants for he's 70, probably 50 years.
Okay.
So you name a restaurant in Tampa, he's probably managed it.
Okay.
My family's been in restaurants. I think my whole family was working at a Denny's at one point at the exact same time.
Okay.
So the bagel shop didn't work. I'm a picky eater. So I eat pizza, steak, hamburgers, chicken, and French fries.
Yeah.
I'm horrible
That's
diet.
about it.
Okay.
Absolute horrible diet.
Okay.
So the bagel shop didn't work. It was in Largo. I was in Tampa, and it put a bad taste in my mouth. So I didn't do it for like 10 years.
Okay.
So we were working at Amazon.
Yep.
And I finally had it with Amazon. So it was, I'm going to open a restaurant. I want my own business.
Yeah.
So I talked her into it, and it has to have pizza because that's what I eat.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if you look at our menu, it's stuff that I eat plus salads.
Right.
We
had to expand a little bit. Like he eats a plain burger, so we had to have different choices.
Yeah.
Because I have to eat there too.
Sure.
But yeah, it's pretty much just things that he'll eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now deciding to open a pizza place though means that you now have to start learning about how to make pizza, right? I mean, you have to learn about how to cook it properly every time, not to burn the crust in a repeatable manner that you can pass on to your crew and stuff like that. So you decided, I like pizza. I want to go to my own business, pizza shop. How do you learn all the behind the scenes stuff?
So
it was a hot mess.
So when I was little, my mom would get the Chef Boyardee kits, right?
Okay.
And then when I was old enough to make my own pizza, she was very happy. So I've made pizza before, right?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't realize that I'd made pizza before I opened the restaurant. It was an afterthought.
Okay.
So we're getting the oven in, and we had a little tabletop oven, so I could fit four pizzas in there, and that was about it. We're getting the oven in, and we're getting the stainless steel in, and we're signing the lease, and my dad's like, "Hey, man, do you know how to throw pizza?" I'm like, "No." So a friend of his, who's a friend of mine now.
Like the week before.
Yeah, it was a week
supposed
before.
to open.
His name's Jimbo. He owns Nick's Pizza in Plant City. He let me come down. He just had me throw some house pies.
Okay.
So I learned to throw in a couple days because complete afterthought to learn how to throw pizza.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it.
Sure.
So he taught me how to do that, and then over the years I got better. If I go back and look at pictures of what I produced before, is garbage.
Yeah.
It's like it was good, but it just no.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
okay.
Yeah, I didn't even have didn't even think about it.
Yeah. Right.
The whole leading up to opening was kind of a hot mess because it was right before one of those. Which hurricane was it? Irene?
I
maybe?
don't know.
Huge hurricane came in the week we were supposed to open
Okay.
and knocked down a tree that took out the electric to the restaurant where we were supposed to open.
Yeah.
And fortunately, there had been some kind of, when I say we're blessed, I mean it, because there had been some kind of backlog to putting in our order for food. And so it was a week late. And so the electric went out
Was a saving
right
grace.
after we were supposed to get our first order for
Yeah.
all of the food that we were going to have to open, and it was down for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, we would have lost everything we had
We
if
would
the
have
order
closed
went
before we
through.
opened.
Yeah,
If it
wow.
didn't happen the way it was supposed to. But
Wow.
that week leading up to it, like, we realized he needed to know how to throw pizza. We didn't have the breading down for our chicken yet. Like, my brother came in and he just threw a bunch of stuff together, and he was like, "This tastes good. We're gonna use it."
Yeah.
It was a hot mess.
Yeah, her brother helped us out in Sefner. We weren't making dough yet. We were using a frozen dough
Okay.
from New Jersey.
Sure.
So the spot that I picked, I'm glad we did, because the thought was we need to learn anyway. So if we had opened what we opened in Dade City first, would have failed
Oh yeah.
real quick.
Okay.
It was slow enough that we were able to learn
Sure.
the what to do's and what not to do's.
Yeah.
What
Yep.
to spend money on and what not to spend money on.
What
Yeah.
not to advertise
Yeah.
and who not to advertise with,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And,
It turns
I'm
out
assuming. Sorry. Go ahead.
that legwork is
Yeah.
does the best, like just flyers and menus. And who would have thought that just walking the neighborhood and telling
Yeah.
people you were there was going to be the best kind of advertising? But
Yeah.
we spent a lot on other things just to
Sure.
find out that they weren't going to work.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, we spent money on advertising that never took either. So,
Yeah. I
it's
bet
like
those scorecards.
the
for that
scorecards, the
place
golf
are still in
scorecards.
a box
Okay.
somewhere in their
Um,
storeroom.
Yeah, they're like, it's so and so, and they're like, okay, when do they get scorecards? They gave us a date. They never ordered any more scorecards. Of course. So I spent $300, $400 on advertising that never happened.
Yeah.
Yelp,
Yeah.
the click for things.
yep.
Nope, never again.
Okay.
Third parties. We found
Third parties
Yeah.
usually are a scam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So in terms of I had a couple paragraphs below, but let's touch on it. So the marketing and advertising. So when you guys first started out over there in Sefner, so the way people found out about you was you guys were going around to neighborhoods and like doing door
Oh
hangers
yeah,
of
we
what
took
menus.
menus,
Door hangers
we
first.
punched holes in them, and we put rubber bands through them so that we could hook the rubber bands. And so we did hundreds of menus that way.
And you guys were
and then
doing
just
it.
walk
Yeah.
the neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah.
When we started paying people to do it for us, and they were either putting them on the mailbox, which is illegal, and they
Yeah.
were in the mail, and then they were throwing them away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we
Sure.
just did it ourselves. We just walked the neighborhood and
Yeah. Okay.
put a bunch of
Wow.
menus.
Then we had a Facebook page and all that, and
Right.
the location wasn't the greatest because it was kind of off of a side street, and we kind of knew that though. But that Facebook was a big thing that helped us pay the bills while we were learning.
Sure. Yeah.
Just to have because you can interact with the customer right
Right.
there.
Yep.
So
We had some great customers out in Sefner. Don't get me wrong. Like, we didn't have as many as we do here. We didn't have as many customers in general. We didn't have the volume that we do here. But
Yeah.
the customers were great
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
They still come out to Dade City. Some of them will still stop by the Dade City location.
Oh, okay. Really? Awesome. So did you guys do any advertising in like inserts in newspapers and stuff?
No.
Did you
no, we
try
never
those?
did newspapers
Okay,
yet.
okay.
There, I didn't have the money to do it. Here, we don't really have to advertise.
Okay.
It's
Because of your
not.
location.
Yeah, big
Sure.
things, location, big word of mouth.
Word of mouth is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about like for delivery? So your delivery area is pretty wide.
Fairly big, yeah.
So how do people outside of the general area? How do they hear about you?
I think Facebook.
Yeah, I would think so.
I
Yeah.
Okay.
think for the most part, Facebook.
Gotcha.
We haven't tried to do any kind of advertising because we were worried that we wouldn't be able to handle the influx if we did.
I gotcha. Sure. Sure.
So at Sefner, I had a little tabletop oven, and I could fit 4 pizzas in it, and it was little. I mean, it was this big.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we moved here, I got a bigger oven with 4 decks, and I could get I think an 18 and a 14 on each deck.
Okay.
We were getting to the point where that was getting overloaded. So I had to go spend 10 grand on a bigger oven, which we got about a year ago now.
Okay.
And I can get like 2 18s on each deck.
Gotcha.
And I can get a 14 in behind it.
Yeah, it's
and
nice.
we're starting to overload that now.
Really?
Yeah, there's days where it's like oven's dead, man.
Yeah.
But
We
have-
close in 50 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have like a 45-minute wait time sometimes for pickup because the oven's just full and there's nothing we
Awesome.
can do about it. But it's fantastic. The kitchen is only so big, so there's
Yeah.
no more bigger ovens. Like
Yeah, I
we've-
can't fit a bigger oven. I got the big old oven, got the 2 fryers, and got a little grill.
Yeah.
And I got a little chicken table to bread chicken.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
That's all I can fit.
So there's
Yeah.
really no more growing in that kitchen. But
Gotcha.
so we're worried that if we advertise too much, and then people have to wait an hour for their food, they might be kind of upset with us.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. I get that totally.
But at the same time, if my food comes correctly and it's good, I will wait that hour.
Yeah.
It's when
No.
I wait the hour and it's not right.
So I like to tell everyone when they call in what the wait time's going to be, and sometimes it is 45 minutes to an hour, and they'll just be like, "All right, that's fine."
Yeah.
But no, it's good food, so they'll wait.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, then let me take your order.
So you guys are. This is perfect. So you're over in Sefner. So did you guys find an existing restaurant to rent out, or did you have to renovate a space, or how did that go about?
So we were slow enough that I could go on Craigslist and look for spots.
Okay.
So I found a spot. It was truly Mediterranean, I think is what was before us. So it was already a restaurant. He lived in Tampa too.
Okay.
So when I came out, I found out he lived in Tampa. I think his business partner wasn't really helping him or something. And then his kids, who were helping him, wanted to go back to college.
Okay.
So he wanted out of his lease and all that. So as soon as I saw it, I hopped on it. And he ended up opening another shop in Brandon, I believe.
Okay.
Closer to his stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was already a restaurant.
Had the commercial kitchen.
It had a kitchen in it, but all that got pulled out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
just the 3-compartment sink. The sinks were left behind.
Yeah, the sinks, the
That's
prep area.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was all stayed the same. But I brought him. He had a big grill, like 8-foot long grill, and then he had a range, a 6-burner range with a small little oven underneath.
Okay.
Our landlord pulled the range out for us, and then he took the stove or the grill and his fryer.
Okay.
So we put all our own. I had my own pizza station I brought
That's
in.
Dade City, though. Do you remember Sefner?
What?
Like,
Oh
set
yeah.
up at
Sefner. Oh, that was a mess.
Sefner was at one point a Pizza Hut, but one of
Okay.
those like small, like to go only Pizza Huts.
Yeah.
So then a guy put in a real hood because it was a catering company, and then it was empty for years. So
It was
then it was
bad.
permits for the septic and permits for this, and we had to go to Tampa, and then he said we needed something, and then I came back.
Spackling and painting
Oh, man.
and cleaning,
Mm-hmm,
and it was. And we, I think, put all the equipment in there, didn't we?
That was all our
3-compartment
equipment.
sink and everything. Was,
Yeah, all that stuff was
Yeah.
ours. It was a completely empty space.
We started from scratch there, so coming out here and having one that was pretty well put
Yeah, it
together,
wasn't
like we just
the-
had to put in some equipment. That was really nice.
Yeah, we didn't have to go, hey, septic company, will you go
Yeah.
rate this so I can take it to the city?
Yeah.
It was already existing. There's no septic. It's just the grease trap.
Yeah.
So it was so much easier in Dade City,
Sure.
especially with everything being across the street, because I look out the window and I see City Hall.
Yep.
So I can just go right over there. Hey, do I need
Yeah.
a permit for this?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
It's so
yeah, it was
easy.
a nice change.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it was also a 45-minute drive one way
When we
for
were
the
in
first
Tampa.
year.
Yeah.
It was still worth it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, definitely.
And so you mentioned that your dad has worked in restaurants for 50 plus years.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he was a massive help in this whole process of getting you going and kind of giving you an idea of what to do and how to get started with the restaurant.
Yeah, so he's worked at all these places, and he knows it's easy for him to get into a place and go, hey, this is, watch out for this, watch out for this, watch out for this.
Yeah.
Doesn't stay in a place too long. He kind of gets bored with it. So the long-term running of a restaurant was not his strong suit.
Okay.
But getting into a place
Yeah.
and making a deal,
Negotiating.
Negotiating.
His
Yeah.
strong suit.
he would go into Tampa and get a restaurant. The story is he had 42 cents in his pocket, and he got a restaurant.
Okay. What
Yeah.
did he tell you how?
You find
I
so
think
you,
she just wanted out of it so
you
badly.
find someone who wants out of it so bad,
Yeah.
they're already losing because they don't know what they're doing. So
Sure.
he comes in
Sure.
and he basically takes it for free for
Yeah.
the most part.
Yeah.
He's got to get his permits and all this other stuff, but that's how he did it.
Yeah.
So he can tell you, hey, you need a sink for this. What about your walk-in? What about your pizza station? Hey,
Right.
you don't know how to throw a pizza.
Yeah.
You're right. I
Right.
don't know how to throw a pizza.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff like that. So,
Sure.
yeah.
How long did it take you to learn to throw? Is it pretty easy to do? Is it throwing a pizza?
Yeah, I think so. It's you're worried that you're going to mess it up at first.
Yeah.
So a couple days and you're like, okay, I can make a pizza. It's not a perfect pizza. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a little thin in the center and all that, but
Right.
I tell our employees that if I can do it, they can do it.
yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, and the
I've got no coordination. I can throw pizza, so it's just something you have to learn.
the guy that runs the oven when I'm at the pizza station, he goes to the pizza station when I'm not in the kitchen.
Okay.
So, and his pizzas are coming out great. So, yeah, it's not rocket science.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just takes training.
Now, opening a restaurant is a big. I mean, opening a business in general is a big step, but a restaurant seems to be a huge risk. So, according to pizzamarketplace.com, sounded pretty legit, right? But anyway, so they say an estimated 60% of restaurants go out of business within their first 3 years. The first year is always the hardest, with 44% failing to ever even get off the ground. So, I mean, you guys took a huge monumental risk opening a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I seen, Robert, that you were working for Amazon before and you left that to pursue this.
Yeah, so I was working at Walmart for 10 years or so. Then I quit there, went to Amazon, and I got tired of Amazon in 2 years.
Sure.
Took Walmart 10, Amazon 2 years.
Yeah.
And you have to reach to a point where I'm not doing this anymore.
Sure. Yeah,
I
get it.
don't want to make Jeff Bezos more millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
I get it.
Every time, because what pushed us over the edge there was we were in the picking department. So you work at a platform, and the Kiva bot, which is a big Roomba, comes by with a shelf of stuff, and you got to pick it and put it in a tote.
Okay.
You got to do that all day,
Yeah.
up and down, up and down, up and down.
It's really hard on the body.
Yeah, really,
during the
really,
scenes.
really
Sounds
hard.
like it. Sure.
So then we transferred to pack, which
Okay.
those totes then come on a conveyor belt and pick it out, put it in the box that the computer tells you, and tape it up and put it on another line.
Sure.
That wasn't as bad, but it's 4-day work weeks. On the fourth day, they will say, "Hey, pick is short people. You guys know how to pick." No, I'm not doing this every week. It's one thing to help out, but I'm not a picker anymore. I don't want to do this. This is the reason I left.
Right.
And that was
Yeah, mine was Stowe.
Yeah,
I
and
wasn't
yours
the
was
picker.
Stowe.
I was the one who put them into the Kiva bots.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
and then
she
he
got
took
in-
them out, and it was just as bad.
She got in trouble because she put them in correctly, and they're like, well, "This is taking too much time." Well, yeah, but this is what you tell me to do. And
Right.
Yeah, Amazon is a horrible company to work for.
No, okay. So
Absolutely horrible.
we don't know that. We haven't been there for 5
No,
years.
horrible. Sorry.
I will say they had fantastic insurance.
Insurance. Oh yeah, insurance.
Insurance was amazing.
Best thing ever.
You really needed it doing
Yeah.
the job. Like
Yeah.
you needed that health insurance, but
Right.
And the pay
but it
wasn't
was
horrible
fantastic.
either.
Okay.
But the expectation that you are a literal robot,
yeah, it was rough.
it was bad.
Mentally and physically, it was just a rough place to work, and we
Sure.
just didn't want to do it anymore. So
Yeah.
And so I was a hourly manager at Walmart.
Okay.
So I applied for management there after I was there for a year, And they said no to that, but I could cover for the managers and do their job when I wasn't a manager.
You're not getting paid to be a manager. You can just do the job.
So that's when it's like, nope, this is not going to work.
Yeah, I get it. All right, so you guys have now been in business there with the restaurant for roughly 5 years, I believe. If you count Sefner.
Well, yeah, if you count Sefner, it was probably 3.5, 4, 5.
5 years in September.
Is it 5 in September?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess so.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, I mean, you guys are one of the success stories. I mean, literally, you legitimately are.
It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And I think one reason a lot of places don't make it is because they invest the money, but they don't invest the time. Sure. And you have to invest the time. We worked the first year 90-hour weeks, and my brother helped us out, but we tried not to work him anywhere near what we were working ourselves.
And we also made sure he got paid first.
Right. So, we did not take a paycheck for the first year. So we worked 90-hour weeks. There was a walk-in there that didn't work in Sefner. You remember? We used it for storage.
Yeah.
We would put cardboard boxes down and go lay down during the day because we were working so many hours. We were exhausted. And we only paid ourselves enough money to cover our bills at home.
Yeah.
And that was it because we wanted to make sure our employees got paid.
Yeah, but the reason we were able to open the restaurant too is so when I was working at Amazon, my mom needed help with some rent. So we moved in with my mother.
Sure.
And at that point, we're still paying her rent and all that. And it was like, because my grandpa died. My grandpa had died. So she needed some more rent because it was his house. Now it's her house. And we're there. And I'm like, this is the time to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The rent's
she
low.
She was super helpful with us. We were very blessed.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, go do it.
Family.
Like, okay, good.
Nice.
So if I hadn't had the safety net of knowing that I had a roof over my head, it would have been a lot harder to do it.
Sure.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So you're there. You're in Sefner. You're there for about a year and a half, and I have to imagine that kind of expensive to get going. Just open a restaurant. Maybe I've never opened one, so I'm not sure. So like, did you guys take out loans? Did you swipe credit cards? Like, how did you guys fund this in the beginning?
So, okay, what do you think it costs to open up a restaurant?
Man, I guess if the commercial kitchen is already there, it cuts down on the expenses quite a bit.
No commercial kitchen. Got to build it from. You have a building and you have a hood for your fryers and your grill.
I mean, just off the top of my head, I'm thinking 10 to 20 grand.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the hood's the most expensive. So we had some stock from Amazon because that's when they were still giving stock and all that.
Yeah. And we had been saving for a house.
Sure.
So I had a few thousand for that. So I think we ended up at Sefner. I want to say it was $15,000.
Something. We bought mostly used equipment to start, and then we had leased a few things, so we were paying on those leases each month.
Yep.
But out of pocket, probably about $15,000.
That
included Robert and his dad going out and buying not always great pieces of equipment while I was at
Had
work
to go back.
still. And my father coming in and helping us with the electrical and the painting and everything. And
nice.
Her father was an electrician.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, can you put the lights on the window? He's like, yeah. He
Nice.
shocked himself a couple times. It was funny. But yeah, it only took about 15. Because the hood was there. If that hood wasn't in that location, I mean that's another 12,000 right there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it might be more now.
Yeah.
Then you have to put the fire suppression system in, which I don't even know what that cost. I just had to get that recharged.
Oh, we did get a loan too.
For what?
I think at one point we got a loan, from my sister.
Did we?
Mm-hmm,
Maybe.
For Sefner when we first opened.
It would have been like 1,000 or something, right?
Yeah,
it was something small.
Like we paid it back quick, but she helped us out too. Like our family really helped us to get everything.
It sounds like it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The Dade City was about the same, but to move at Jimbo, the guy that owns Nick's Pizza, he loaned me $5,000.
Okay. Nice.
He said and I got him paid off in the first year and all that, and that took about the same amount of money. But since we knew better, we knew to go get a new pizza station, get a bigger oven. Mm-hmm. The used fryer is just fine. Jimbo sold me the used fryer. The grill's $200, and then the fryer was like $400. So
where do you find, like, just Craigslist, eBay?
Depend if you're looking for used. What did I probably looked at Craigslist at the time.
Okay.
But Facebook Marketplace would be fine for used. There's companies now that will sell used. But for the new stuff, what did I use? I used First Lease.
First Lease.
So
Okay.
the
Most of
equipment,
our
the
new
new
stuff.
stuff is a lease program. So it's like a car payment.
Okay.
So I think I pay like $250 a month for.
With the exception of this last oven.
Except for the oven, I
It's
just paid cash.
Straight to like supplies on the fly.
But I think it was $10,000-ish in lease equipment.
Okay.
Not leased isn't the right word. Paying off the equipment.
Sure.
So that took off a lot. You have to pay 20% down,
Okay.
which is basically the interest.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
So
okay.
you pay that first, and then
Yeah.
you make all the payments after.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Sure.
You don't have to pop $10,000 for a pizza station.
Yeah.
And another reach-in fridge, and we brought a couple things from the Seffner store. We had the little pizza station, probably about the size of this table.
Okay.
Because I wasn't that busy. Now it's our salad top.
Okay.
So they make burgers there and they make salads there. Well, I have the big pizza station behind it.
Okay.
So
when did you guys hire your first employee to come in and start helping you out?
when we moved to Dade City.
No, we had
Wow.
we had,
We
Seffner. We had Jason.
We had Jason and Seffner. He was good.
Had a couple drivers.
Had a couple drivers, yeah. But and then her brother, that he was really an employee.
Yeah. But when we moved to Dade City, we hired Gracie first.
Hired
Gracie was
Gracie.
my first employee. She's still in my system. She's not with us anymore, but I refuse to close out like all of her information in our system. So
Okay.
Gracie, if she ever wants to come back in, she can start an audit and just go to work.
Yeah.
Nice.
We loved her. She was there until she went to college, so she was with us for a while.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that was when we first opened in Dade City.
Yeah. And then we hired a few other people. Did not work out.
How'd you go about finding them?
Facebook.
Yeah,
I
probably
think
Facebook.
mostly Facebook. We
Okay.
tried Indeed, but it was just a hot mess.
Really?
Yeah, so mostly Facebook. Most
Okay.
of our advertising, our getting messages out there, like all of it has been Facebook. Which
Okay.
kind of stings because not everybody has it.
Right. Yeah.
But,
Okay. So and then let's see. You guys moved from Seffner to Dade City in 2018.
Sounds right.
we opened in 2019.
January 1st, 2019. So yeah, we were moving.
So
And
what
then
was the
we
motivation
moved
for
a year
moving?
later.
It was so slow. So, but then again, that was the point of that restaurant. I knew it was going to be a stepping stone.
Okay.
We can mess up. We can make bad recipes. The food can come out like garbage for once or twice. I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to work. So
The only thing that saved us in Seffner was that we had a contract with the Coast Guard, and
Yeah.
they were in town, and so we were feeding them.
Okay.
And that was the only reason I think we were able to come to Dade City.
Really?
Yeah.
it was able to bank just enough money just to go, okay, we have to be done here.
How'd you guys score that contract?
Somebody called me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they.
Okay.
I think they were going off of like reviews, and we had worked with the school down the street, and we'd worked with a few people. So, yeah, they called us up and said, "Hey, I know you work with people," and so.
Nice.
We
Okay.
have a bunch of guys coming. I think it was like 100 at first. 100
Something like that, yeah.
Guys that were staying at a hotel down the street.
And you guys just took them like 50 pizzas a day?
Oh, no,
or-
they
had
per
they
day
had
money,
per
and they're
diem,
like,
yeah.
I want this and this, okay, and then he wants this and this, he wants this and this, and we just take out and he runs it,
Okay.
gets another order and runs it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
That saved us. I
Right
think.
on. Nice.
It definitely got us to Dade City. We might have been able to keep it afloat, not taking
I
any
don't
money
know.
for ourselves.
I don't know what my move would have been if we didn't get that. It would have been another move.
I was very against Dade City at first.
So
Really?
I went to go look at
it
it.
was a 45-minute drive, and so I had just started writing again
Uh-huh.
because we were slow enough I could.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hey, so I found this location. We should open a second one in Dade City." And I'm like, 45 minutes away? Are you crazy?
But then she saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
me and my
fell in
dad
love.
went first.
Yeah.
And he looked up because it's got the exposed beams, and it's historic. And he goes in with me. He's like, "She's gonna like this place." I was like, "Yeah, I know." So
Yeah.
and then I brought her. And she's like, "Oh yeah."
I saw the brick.
Yeah.
I saw the beams. I saw the town. They had the day that we came to look at it, there was the homecoming parade coming through the
yeah.
town. So yeah, there was no going back.
Okay. You just fell in love and it was just love at first sight, so you moved in. So was it hard to leave Sefner? Did you have to break a lease or anything? Or?
So the idea was her brother would stay there, run it, have a couple employees, knowing that it wouldn't. I'm not going to make retirement off of it, but it's going to hopefully be self-sufficient.
We were hoping it would be enough for like him to be successful,
and then possibly sell it to him or give him more of it or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
That didn't happen.
It didn't work well. We found out within the first month that it wasn't going to work.
That
Okay.
wasn't his forte.
Sure.
To do that.
Gotcha.
Cooking, definitely.
Cooking itself was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just not running.
Sure.
And we found that out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had to break a lease with that one. We worked out a deal with that landlord. So we were still paying rent for that location
For the first
another
6 months, yeah.
Really?
That we were
Yeah,
open
that
here in
was
Dade
fun.
City.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but we did it right. We didn't burn any bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was nice. But
Okay, awesome. So the name of the business is American Pizza Oven, but you don't just do pizzas. You guys do calzones and strombolis and salads and chicken fingers and chicken wings. You have a chicken parm sandwich. You have hamburgers and Philly cheesesteaks. You have a large
Yeah.
menu. Who comes up with all the recipes for all the dishes? Or just the ideas for all the dishes?
I think anything that's new and being added is mostly stuff that we were making ourselves from
Yeah.
what we had there, and we were like, "This
Okay.
is really good," and I eat it twice a week. We should probably add it to the menu.
Yeah.
Like the chicken bacon ranch pizza and the burgers that we
Yeah.
had. Like those are all things that we just make ourselves. Pizza bread because Holly eats
Because
it.
Holly kept making it for
Like,
herself. So,
so
which
we
was on the
added
menu.
pizza bread
Yeah.
to the menu. So it's
Okay.
mostly just stuff that we like snack on
Okay.
while we're there. The calzones and the strombolis we Googled because we didn't know how to make them because
But
we're not actually
no one has-
Italian.
no one has the same recipe.
They don't. They're all different. So we were finally just like, we're just going to do it this way. And it is what
I think
it
with
is.
the calzone stromboli, I asked Jimbo how he does it. I changed it a little bit, and what else did I ask Jimbo? Your brother came up with the breading mix for the chicken.
It's changed a little bit since then.
A little
but
bit,
not
yeah.
much.
He did the first sauces we had for the wings. We've altered those a little bit. I think I chose the hamburger bun because it's a Hawaiian bun, and it's so good. The dough that we were using, it was Lasordo brand dough.
Okay.
So GFS had it. So that's a New Jersey dough before we made dough. And we really liked it. So we tried to get it's a copycat recipe, I guess. But it doesn't
But we
taste anything
changed
like
a
it
few
now.
things.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
we switched from soy oil to olive oil, and we did a few things to the recipe when we switched over.
We just started making dough in December.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah, sure.
I
sure.
don't want to make dough. I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
And the dough we had was really good. But as soon as I switched that dough, the savings is insane.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a quarter of the cost.
The shipping fees and stuff just alone, or is it?
Well, the dough was going up and up and up. And at one point, it was like $1.25 a dough ball, and then it went up to like $2.75 or something like that. And I was like,
Okay.
nah, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably even higher now.
Oh yeah,
If we were
it's
to
probably
look at
insane
it.
now. So now since we had a chef from Cisco, he took the dough ball. He's like, okay, this is what it is. This is where to start. He
Okay.
showed me where to start,
Nice.
and then we played.
Yeah.
So the first 6 batches, me and her are
So
screaming
bad.
at each other.
So bad.
You did it wrong. You did it wrong. Stop it. Why are you so angry?
The
I
only
hate this
thing
place.
that like
This-
kept us from
Yeah.
killing each other was like these dough monsters that we were creating that just
Oh,
kept
yeah.
exploding.
Never use the amount of yeast they tell you to use.
No.
Okay.
Ever.
No, it was
Okay.
so bad. We came in the next day and like dough was overflowing on
Oh, yeah.
our hearts, and like
So
I look over while we're making it, and his hands are just like stuck in
Yeah.
this.
Oh, it was bad.
It was horrible.
I
It was
called
great.
Jimbo the first day. I'm like, or the next day, I took a picture. Said, "Is this supposed to be that risen?" He's like, "What are you making bread? What do I do?" He said, "How much yeast did you use?" Like I said, I told him how much. He's like, "Yeah, that's too much yeast." I said, "How much
Yeah.
do you use?" He told me. He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna try with that." I think I would, and I lowered it just a little bit more than what he uses. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
But once you know how to make dough, it's easy.
Once you know, you know.
Once you know, it's easy. You just, as long as your ratios are right, and it's almost the easiest thing to do. because we cut chicken from whole chicken breasts.
Okay.
So chicken strips and
That's
popcorn
not
chicken.
the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dough is easier than that.
Like there's 2 people at the restaurant who know how to cut chicken properly, I think, and there are like 4 or 5 who could probably do dough now.
Yeah, I don't cut chicken anymore.
Okay.
No, because we got in an argument.
Listen,
Uh-oh. Are you
So this is what happened, right? So in Sefner,
this is not what happened.
This is what happened.
He's going to tell
This
you
is what
one
happened.
story, and then I'm going to tell you what actually happened.
Okay.
so we're new, and we want to give a lot of food out, right? Well, once you realize that's counterproductive, you got to give out a fair portion for a good price. Otherwise, you're feeding them 3 times and taking the food home. Even if you're profitable, you're feeding them 3 times. You want them to come back and enjoy more food. So we argue about the portion size. And I'm like, I'm not cutting chicken ever again. I'm mad and all that, and I forgot what she said. But that's what happened. Whatever she says is wrong.
That is while we did argue about the portion size, and that is true. And he was right. We should have cut back a little bit. What happened was he cut popcorn chicken the size of golf balls. And I went over and said, hey, you need to cut these a little bit smaller. And he said, I'm never cutting chicken again. And that is the last time he really cut chicken.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So
Never happened.
Never happened.
Conveniently.
Never happened.
Yeah, but that's okay because we like it cut a certain way and
Yeah.
try to keep it uniform.
Yeah.
Try to.
Yeah. So do you guys have any, and this might be giving away too much, but are there any hidden menu items? So like, if you go out to In-N-Out, if you've ever been out west, and they have their animal style fries where it's not on the menu, but if you know, you know. Like, do you guys have something like that?
I mean, kind of, because if we have the ingredients, we'll make it.
Yeah.
Like the deep fried garlic knots for Jamie.
Yeah.
Like
If someone asked, we would make it.
yeah.
Okay,
When
deep fried garlic nuts. Okay.
Yeah, when she comes in, that's usually what she'll get. And so there are some, like if we have the ingredients, we'll make it up for you. I don't want to say any more than that because I don't want him to get mad at me if they come in and say, hey, can you make this for me?
Yeah,
but,
sure.
If everyone starts ordering it, it goes on the menu and I raise the price.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, right on. So I also heard about your deep fried pizza. Is it exactly as it sounds? Is it deep fried pizza?
So Shane was there when I did it. Our realtor, and he was still a food purveyor at the time. We were just talking about stuff to deep fry. And
he got bored in the kitchen. And
Yeah,
started deep frying
we were
everything.
slow. And I kind of looked at. I don't remember if he said it or I said it. He doesn't remember either. I said, "Let's deep fry pizza." Ooh. So we rolled up a slice of pizza and put dough over that in a second roll, and then deep fried it.
Okay.
And he ate it. So it was so good.
Yeah.
It's that's fair food.
It was right when we started
okay.
doing
Yeah, I
our
gotcha.
own fried
Okay.
mushrooms and onion rings.
Yeah, we were doing. He showed us Shane. He showed us the best way to do fried mushrooms and onion rings. So we were doing that, and I just went on. I'm like, oh, I want to deep
It's
fry
like,
everything.
let's deep fry pepperoni. Let's deep fry an Oreo.
That's where pepperoni
Let's deep
bombs
fry
came from.
everything.
Pepperoni
And then-
bombs is deep fried pepperoni.
Yeah.
It's pepperoni wrapped with some spare dough and it's dropped.
But then the
Okay.
deep fried slice, he took what he had originally made and made it better by now he cooks the toppings in the oven with cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll cut open that deep fried slice and put those inside and then the garlic butter and Parmesan on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the toppings are kind of like a dressing.
Okay. Sure.
It's
Do you
the
guys
kale.
have like a stuffed crust? Do you guys do any? Is that hard to do?
It
stuff?
is.
Yeah, I did stuffed crust in Sefner.
Okay.
But I also had a big cutting board table, probably these 2 tables together.
Yeah.
So I had room. I don't have room here.
Right.
So, and we also use block cheese there, so I could just cut the block cheese.
Which we do now again for mozzarella, sticks.
Because we make our own mozzarella sticks now, too.
But we don't really have the space. You have to go bigger than the screen, and our biggest is an 18-inch pizza. So you need like a 20-inch screen at that point to fold it over to get around the
and
cheese.
I
Sure.
get
So
flour
it's
on
just-
one side of the dough, so the
Sure.
dough sticks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pain.
Yeah.
It was good,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was a pain. So I kind of had to stop doing that.
Yeah. Okay, so I seen on your website says now offering online ordering. Is that a relatively new thing?
We've tried a few different ways
Yeah.
of offering online ordering before. We tried the Grubhub and DoorDash. And
Third
then
parties. Remember what I told you about third
Yeah.
parties?
Yeah.
And then we tried a Pizza Miko, which
Pizza
they
Miko
were
was pretty
they were
good.
really good until they weren't.
Yeah.
Like they were great.
Yeah, they were really good. The the fees weren't insulting. It was like $1 under $10, and then it was $2 for anything over 20.
That they
But that was
charged
it.
us.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was really reasonable compared to like DoorDash and Grubhub.
What did they? Just out of curiosity, what did they charge you guys?
Who, DoorDash?
Yeah,
and
DoorDash.
It was
and-
like 30%.
30%
Yeah.
of the whole sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. During COVID, they did this special where it was 15%, and that's when most people signed up. But then after
They jacked it back
Oh
up.
yeah.
30%, yeah. And then they
Jesus.
charge the customer on top of that
Yeah.
a fee. So,
Third parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It is insane. Every time anyone says Grubhub, I'm like, stop using them.
Yeah.
Stop it.
So how are, I guess they're just, the restaurants who use them are just jacking up the prices to
Now,
compensate?
some
You-
restaurants are, yeah.
yeah.
If you look at their Grubhub page,
Yeah.
instead of a pizza being $15,
Yeah.
it's $22.
Sure. Okay.
And
Yeah.
for some reason, people are paying that.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now Pizza Miko was really good until they switched systems, and we couldn't have online ordering for a month and a half, and yeah, we were really upset.
Sure.
So
I bet.
we had to say, we're done.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I
what do you
didn't-
guys do now? Do you have your own drivers? Or
So
Oh,
we
yeah.
found it's a third party, but
It
it
works
seems
with
to
our
be working
POS.
well because it goes directly through the point of sale system. So
Okay.
when an order comes through, it prints out a receipt. I don't have to touch anything. It just prints out a receipt
Yeah.
at my register, and it prints one in the kitchen.
Okay.
Because
So-
it's integrated with our payment processing company.
Nice.
He teams up with them.
Okay.
So it is a third party, but not really.
Okay.
So we paid a fee.
It's like a third party attached to a third party we already trust.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah. So it's. I think it worked out to be about $40 a month, maybe $50 a month when it's all said and
Just
done.
a flat. Oh, okay. Okay.
You got to pay the first year, or you got to pay it yearly, but it's so much savings even from Pizza Miko. It's just incredible savings.
And I just off the top of my head, I mean, I know very little about running a pizza place, but I would assume if you're using like Grubhub, it's just random people showing up to deliver it, right? I mean,
Oh,
do they even
that's the
have
other
like?
Oh,
best
that was the
thing.
other
Yeah.
thing why we kicked.
Some-
Don't people have
Sometimes-
yeah, it's like
Sometimes
bags, right?
they don't though,
Or
and so
something?
the food gets there. We had 2 or 3 bad reviews because
Yeah.
the food was showing up cold, because either they didn't show up for 45 minutes after the order was placed,
Yeah.
or they showed up right when the order was placed, and we have a backup of 45. There's no way to coordinate that
Yeah.
timing,
Or they didn't have a heat bag.
Right.
or they drove in their car with their air conditioning
Yeah.
on, or whatever
Yeah.
the case might have been. So
Sure.
people were getting cold food from us. And
Sure.
Like, all right, this is not working.
Last year, at some point, or the year prior, we would start getting people come up and they had Grubhub hats on, or DoorDash, one of the two.
No, it's Uber.
It was Uber.
No,
one
no,
of
no.
them.
DoorDash does it too.
One of 'em.
Where you're not even on their platform.
But they put you on there, and
They
then they
call
take.
to place the order, or they'll come in to place the order,
Yeah.
and then use a debit card for that platform to pay for it.
Okay.
So people
I
were
have a problem
placing
with
their
that.
order
Yeah.
on the because people were placing their order on the app, and
Uh-huh.
then 30 minutes later somebody was calling me to place the order.
Uh-huh.
And if we were closed, or if we'd taken our last order, I couldn't do anything for them. So now
Sure.
you have
Yeah.
people calling us at the restaurant saying, hey, it's been 45 minutes since I placed my order on DoorDash. I'm like, I don't have DoorDash.
I'm not on DoorDash.
So
Yeah.
I
Wow.
have no way of checking that order.
I had
Yeah.
we called them, or I think I emailed them. I said, look, if you don't take me off your site, I'm going to charge you guys $100 per order as
Yeah.
a service fee.
Sure.
Yes.
The next day, she's like, well, you're off.
Then
Okay.
So they just put you on there.
Yeah,
That's
because now I have my
insane.
own drivers at that point.
Yeah.
Now you're taking money on my drivers.
Sure.
No, not doing that.
Right.
And causing bad rapport with the customers because
Yeah.
you're
Now the
not getting
customers are
things
mad.
right.
The kitchen's mad.
Yeah.
Everyone's mad because you just thought you could get away with that.
Yeah.
And me not.
Yeah.
No. Well, we're bringing you business. No. I don't like that.
Right. Yeah. So have you guys seen a boost in sales? So you added the online ordering, I guess, relatively recently. So why did you do the online ordering? Was it like a customer request or just a natural next progression?
I was getting a little overwhelmed up front at the register.
Okay.
And it was hard to find the help. So trying to answer both phone lines and make sure the food stays warm when it comes up on the counter and handle the customers that are coming in too, it just gets to be a bit much. So
Yeah.
when we added delivery, it was one of those, if we're going to have delivery, we really need to have an online option for them to
Yeah.
put their address in and take payment and everything.
Yep.
So
I get
Yeah.
So
that.
it eased up on the front some.
Gotcha.
And then the system that we have now, since it prints right to the kitchen, I can just take a ticket, put it in line. We're like,
Yeah.
all right, everybody's good.
Yeah.
And she can do whatever else she has to do, whether it's dine in or whatever. So
getting that system up and running, did you have to change your current system to because it was just integrated right in?
right,
You said
because it works with the same
same
company
POS.
that we work now. Because
Yeah.
we asked them a while back, and we kind of tried Pizza Miko first, and I kind of knew if Pizza Miko ever failed, I would just call him.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we did.
Gotcha. Awesome. Okay. And so it sounds like the online ordering is relatively new, but do you guys have any other future plans for American Pizza Oven? Like, are you adding or removing menu items, expanding or contrasting your staff? Are you opening a second location in terms of American Pizza Oven? Do you have anything like that that's in the works?
We might bring back like our game nights.
Maybe,
soon.
yeah.
We used to have a game night once a month.
Okay.
Where
Well, I don't know if we do that because we would tie that into the other thing that we're trying to do probably
that's
too.
true.
So
never mind.
we might not do that.
Okay.
It might not be at American Pizza.
We did just expand the menu.
Okay.
We just
Couple
expanded
items.
It.
Okay, gotcha.
We just hired a bunch of new staff. So
What'd you add
we've
to the
been-
menu?
Mushroom Swiss burger, the bacon ranch pizza, the bacon ranch sub, the pizza
Pepperoni
bread,
bombs, pizza bread.
Wow. Okay.
couple things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fried
okay.
pickles. I think we
Fried
finally
pickles.
added
We've had
them
that.
to the menu.
Finally, actually added them to the menu.
But it was an outdated menu, so we added a few. We took off a couple of.
Took off
things, too.
avocados.
Okay.
Anything with avocado.
Yeah.
Didn't sell a lot of it
Did
anyway.
the fad kind of go away? Is the avocado fad dying
You
out or
know,
something?
I wasn't selling any of them until I took it off the menu, and we decided not to get any more avocados.
Yeah.
And then people
And now
kept
people
calling
want 'em?
asking for them. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We also, the avocado price was going up. We're like, nah.
And you'd get them in, and sometimes they'd be super ripe, and other times not so much. So it was
Yeah.
one of those like, oh, somebody wants a sandwich. Let's check to see if we have avocado for that sandwich.
Yeah.
it was
kind
the
of thing.
oddball
Sure.
stuff.
One off,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And you were saying before I cut you off, I'm sorry, that you've also just recently expanded your staff as well.
Yeah, we just hired a bunch of new people. So we've been doing a lot of training and
Yeah, I think we're up
Starting to
to
work it
10 people now.
12,
12? Is that including
13.
us?
Wow, really?
13 when I do payroll. So that
13.
includes
So
us.
11. So I want to open on Mondays, but it's just hard. Or I
That
want to
was
stay
the goal.
open.
That's why we wanted to hire more people so
Yeah.
that we could open on Mondays. But
Sure.
it's difficult to find people.
So if you hire 10, you probably are keeping 3.
Sure. Yeah.
And
If you
one of those 3
interview
is
20,
really good.
you might get 2.
Now, is that specific to restaurants or just to the current climate of what things are right now?
That's
Or-
probably in general.
okay. Okay.
And just thinking back at when I worked at Walmart, it's about the same.
Okay.
Just people don't want to work.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes it's just not their field either. So,
Sure.
if you might hear a lot of people say, "Well, servers don't make a lot of money," it's because you're not a server. It's very much a trade. A good server can walk out with $200 a day, easy.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And IHOP or anything, even here, she makes tips. If she works the front and she's handling the front, she earns the tips.
Yeah.
If she's not up front, then she doesn't earn the tips.
Right. Or even if I'm just helping up front.
Yeah, or even if
I
she's just
won't
running
take
food
the
or something
tips.
silly.
Because I'd rather the employees get them. But when I'm up front by myself, I do well in tips.
Oh, yeah.
Because I really like my customers, and I think they know that when they come in. I try to remember what they've ordered. I try to remember their names. I try to remember what's going on in their lives.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge difference. But if you're just there for the paycheck and you don't really care about the
And
customer,
you're all, why they stiff me?
Yeah.
Oh, it comes back around.
Yeah.
So anybody in food can tell you. My sister, she served at IHOP in Tampa, worked probably from 6 a.m. to 12, walked out with $200
Yeah.
in tips. That
Yeah.
didn't count her wage
Yeah.
because she knew what she was doing.
Yep.
Then the other servers just, oh, woe is me, whatever like that. It's like,
Yeah.
it's a trade. You have to be good at food. If you're not
Sure.
good at food, you're
or
not going to make
customer
money.
service even. I had
Or
no
that.
food experience before we opened a restaurant at all, but I had a decade in customer service, and so
Yeah.
that makes
helped.
a difference. Yeah.
So, what's some of the hardest things and maybe some of the easiest things about running a restaurant? I mean, if there's are any easy things. I mean, so you guys have had 5 years of experience. You're obviously successful at it. So, what's some of the hardest and easiest things about running a restaurant?
That's a good question.
So if I have the same people in the kitchen, consistency is the easiest thing.
Okay.
If you don't have the same people in the kitchen, it's the hardest thing.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. I get that. Okay.
Finding the people that can do the job correctly is hard.
Yeah.
And are motivated to do it correctly.
Okay.
Other than it, I don't want to say it's easy, but it kind of is.
Okay.
Once you know what you're doing.
Sure. Sure.
It's just, that's a hard question because some days the easiest thing becomes the hardest thing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
The
Okay.
fryer went down. Oh man, let me call Ken.
Yeah.
Ken, it's down again. We go.
Normally smiling for customers, easiest thing.
But once in a while.
But once in a while,
Yeah.
it becomes
woke
the
up
hardest
tired
thing,
or-
you know?
Yeah. Yep.
So I think you just have to find the right flow, and then everything can be the easiest thing once you find the right flow.
Yeah.
Once you have the right people working together. If you have people who don't get along well, it becomes a challenge. But
Sure.
if you find the right people to work together, I think most of our employees now are kind of like a family.
Yeah,
where-
for the most part.
Right
They're
on.
all. I mean, you can make jokes with each other and all that. Everybody's happy. No one's like, "Oh, we made a joke. Oh no, let me call HR."
Yeah.
I am HR.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So it's once you get people you can work with,
Yeah.
everything's easy.
Right on.
Food. I will say the challenge right now in this climate, I guess, is getting the food that you need. The food costs have climbed like crazy. So
Yeah.
trying to find reasonably priced food and getting it on your truck. There are weeks that we just don't get 2 or 3 things on our truck because it's just hard
Really?
to find right now. So.
Okay.
That's why we have 2 food purveyors.
Gotcha.
Because if one is out, the other one isn't. It
Okay.
always works that way.
Yeah.
So I was able to eliminate some of that by having two different companies.
Sure.
So
And do you have to have contracts with both of them, or kind of just order when you need?
it's not necessarily a contract, because at any point I can go, I'm not ordering from you anymore.
Okay.
But they want to sell you as much food as they can.
Yeah.
So
They're like truck minimums, that
yeah,
you
truck
have to
minimum.
meet.
So truck minimum is like $500 on one company, another one's $750.
Gotcha.
I meet those no problem.
Yeah.
So like I order from both companies. One company, Cisco's twice a week, Cheney is once a week.
Okay.
But they're about 50% in food of portion.
Gotcha.
So like I get all my cheese from Cheney because they have grande cheese.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I got to use grande. Grande's
Gotcha.
really good.
Yeah.
We just switched back to them too.
So
Right on. Okay.
People notice a difference, but they don't know what the difference is. They just notice a difference.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the best pizza I've had here in a while. I'm like, yeah, it's the grande.
It's grande,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, so the food and then the accounting, because we don't have an accountant. Well, we do like to file our end of the year
Well, yeah.
taxes, but
That's mainly time,
other than
though.
that, it's a challenge. The first couple of years,
Yeah.
I learned by making mistakes
Yeah.
on a lot of things, and the IRS will let you know
Yeah.
Yeah,
if
well,
you've made a
yeah,
mistake.
yeah.
Only they wait like 6 months to a year because they're so behind right now to let you know, and then you have to like, oh, this is from 2019. We're in 2022. I have to remember what this mistake was. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, go back through everything and.
Yeah.
it becomes
So
a
with like
challenge.
bookkeeping and stuff, we keep different types of books. She does the tax stuff, and I do kind of a cash flow spreadsheet
Okay.
and a daily P&L, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So between the both of us, we know what we're doing, what our taxes are, and all that. But a lot of people, a lot of business owners that just start out don't keep track of that stuff, and
Right.
that's what gets them.
If you
Yeah.
don't keep track of your portions that you're giving out, your food costs,
Sure.
It adds up quickly. If you're
Yeah.
feeding your employees for free all day, every day,
Yeah.
like that's
Real
going to add
quick.
up
Sure.
pretty quickly.
Sure.
So,
And you guys are just doing this all yourself. You just figured out how to do it along with running a pizza place.
we like
Yeah.
spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google Sheets right
Yeah.
on there, and I have the whole year projected out. I have what day my truck comes out, how much it should be, and then it just progresses through. So I know if I'm going to get any dividends at the end of the year. I know what my payroll should be at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I got another column to tell me, hey, I'm paying Cisco this much by the end of the year. Cheney's this much of the year. Tico's getting this much. Gale, the landlord's getting this much.
Yeah.
So I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be OCD to
Sure.
keep track of that.
Sure.
That's
And
why I think what do you we'd say 40% fail in the first year or so? Was that what you said?
60%.
60%?
60% in the first year.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they're
keeping
not
track.
paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah. And you guys obviously have, I mean, it's very obvious to me that you guys are very motivated to succeed. And in another interview, and you touched on this already, but Robert, you had mentioned that you're not going to be able to go back and work for that man and make him money again. Talking about but now that you're a business owner, it's obvious that you guys do have a passion for what you're doing and you believe in it. And I mean, really, that's a quality that has held true for every interview that I've done so far. I can just tell that the people they're just passionate about what they're doing. And so I know that there are people listening to this right now who have something going on the side, or they have an idea to start something, but they've got this full-time job and they just don't know when the right time is to fully bet on themselves. So you guys are coming from a place of experience. You own a successful restaurant. You've made it past those first pivotal few years. So coming from your place of experience and success, what would be some tips and tricks that you would give to someone to when they're first starting out? How would they know? And you've already kind of touched on it, but just again, so how would someone know when it's time to quit working for someone else and just bet on myself and go for it?
You'll know when you dread going to work every day, but at the same time, you can't try to time it, because it's like trying to time the stock market. Not going to work. Eventually, you're going to get so fed up with your boss is younger than you and they're not as smart, or they don't do their job or whatever, and you go, I'm done with this. So what do you like to do? If you like to mow lawns, go mow lawns.
Mm-hmm.
Have a little safety net.
Definitely have a safety net.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on, I guess, your lifestyle. But before we opened, we lived way below our means to have that safety net. And so that's something that you have to be willing to do. And if you're not willing to do that, I don't think you should even bother trying, because you have to live below your means, have a safety net. And if you can, have a support system, whether it's just for mental support or physical. Like if you, oh my gosh, I need somebody today, like have some kind of system in place of friends and family, or try networking. There's Pasco Smart. Smart Start. Yeah. Yep. They're just some great places out there to get that help from and to get that assistance from. Yeah. So if you don't have your own support system, I highly suggest finding something like that instead.
Yep.
But you'll know when you just can't work for somebody else anymore.
Yeah.
It'll hit you hard.
You have to hit rock bottom on it.
Sure.
You have to go, why am I here? Why do I have to be here from this time to this time? And now you have to do that with your own business too, but it's a completely different ballgame. When I bought the POS, when I bought the oven, when I signed the lease, or if you're married, it's together. So a lot of people try to say husband and wife can't work together because you're so worried about it. If you guys can't work together, you might not need to be married. Seriously. So
we worked together at Amazon for 2 years before we actually opened up the restaurant, and they would have us working at stations right next to each other a lot. So, like, we already had that experience a little bit. And then when we moved in with his mother, we were living in a 216 square feet of space.
A bed, 2 TVs, and a tub chair.
So we were doing Amazon and coming home to 216 square feet together. And so opening the restaurant wasn't as big a deal for us because we'd already had that experience. I still threaten to kill him often.
Still argue, still fight, still it still happens. But
Should I video?
But at the end of the day, we can trust each other to know, okay, she does the taxes and stuff like that. I got the kitchen.
Yeah.
Unless she says something different about the kitchen, she shouldn't have to worry about it. And then we have a woman who's basically the manager when we're not there. She likes to work, so prep, blah, blah, everything. Doesn't yell yet, because I need to yell at some employees, but when you get a couple of people you can trust, it's a lot easier too. But
sure.
If anyone is sitting there thinking about, I want to open a business, take the amount of money that you can afford to lose.
Add up your bills
Add up your bills. Figure out
first.
what you need.
Figure out what you need to live off of first.
Cut all the luxuries
Have
out.
some kind of safety net.
Yep.
Even if that means like, oh, I'm gonna have a $20 a month phone instead of a
Yeah.
$60 or $100 or whatever the people
Yeah.
pay on their phones now. I don't even know. I
Yeah.
can't
Get rid of
imagine.
Hulu. Get rid of Netflix. You don't need any of that.
Right.
Because you don't want the
Right.
distraction anyway. You want to focus on what you need to do.
Exactly.
So
I
yeah.
play Elder Scrolls Online normally, and when I have time, I'll play every night.
Yeah.
But when we were opening, no more PlayStation Plus, no
Sure.
more ESO Plus,
Sure.
none of that
Yeah. Sure.
stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't have time to play that, so you just have to go without for a little bit.
I would. Now, a lot of people don't want to hear what I'm about to say. You will fail. It's okay.
Yeah.
Because when you fail, you're going to go, what did I do wrong? And then you're going to do it again.
Learn from your mistakes.
You will fail. You will lose money at first, but it all comes back around.
Yep.
Just like serving a table. You're going to get stiffed here. You're going to get stiffed here. That other table is going to take care of you.
Yep.
It all comes around.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay.
Do you guys feel like there's ever a right time to do it? So I hear a lot of people say that I'm just waiting for that, just the right time. I'm just waiting for that right time to come along.
There's never a right time. If we were to wait for a right time, we probably never would have opened the restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah.
At some point, you just have to jump in.
Yep. Agreed.
So it's when you are mentally able to understand that you have a very high chance of failing the first time.
Yep.
But you're going to do it again, and you're going to do it again.
Yep.
A lot of people don't see all the extra stuff that you've lost this, you made this mistake, this guy took your money, this guy didn't pay their bills. We've had that. We've had a third-party company where they used us to feed a school and stiffed us $2,000. Pretty sure the school paid them the money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a reason we don't like using third-party companies anymore.
Yeah, I get it.
What was the name
I
of
get
it?
it.
School eatery.
School eatery.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Jesus. Okay.
Any food people that are listening there, and they go,
Don't
hey,
use 'em.
Don't use them.
Yeah.
They owe
Gotcha.
me
it was
somewhere around
pretty
$2,000.
Wow.
And when I call them, just to go, hey, where's my money? Just to, it's been 2 years, but I'm going to call them, hey, you got my money yet?
Yeah.
It goes directly to voicemail. So they're still around.
Yeah.
So
Man.
you're going
But
to
you know
get
what?
taken.
Because we used them to feed a school. It's one of with St.
Yeah.
Anthony's. We
Yeah.
feed St. Anthony's.
We feed them now.
They liked the food.
Nice.
And so
Okay.
the principal reached out to us this year and said, "Hey, we're going to try making our own app. Can we use you guys?" And so we started feeding them 1 day a week, and then by the end we
Now we're doing
tried
2.
twice a week.
They're talking about doing all week next year, which I kind of hope we get to do. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
you
then we
make
feed
those. We
Centennial.
did make that connection at least
Mhm.
by going through a third party. So it
Yeah.
wasn't.
It cost me a couple
It
grand,
wasn't a
but I did it.
complete fail. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. God is good,
but
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So let's see here. I ask everyone this same question, and I just want to hear you guys talk about it for a little bit. So, why Dade City? What do you guys like the most about Dade City?
So I was born in Dade City, but about 5, my parents moved. They got divorced, so I kind of have to go with them. When I was looking at Craigslist for another spot, I didn't really know it was Dade City per se, but I called my dad and all that, and we came down here. I'm like, oh, okay, small city. I like this. And then he's like, yeah, remember you were born here. I'm like, oh yeah. Because we lived in Zephyr Hills, but
Yeah.
I was I forgot the name of the hospital. It's gone now, but
He was the last.
I was
baby.
apparently I was the last baby. Apparently,
Really?
yeah.
He broke the hospital.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
He said he just paid the doctor's bill, and then my mom had ants on her by the time we were gone and all that. So I guess that was why they were closing. But when me and my dad drove here, it's like, okay, I really like this. Mm-hmm. It's nice. It's small. It's like Ybor without all the
Liquor.
alcoholics.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. I get it. Yeah.
And there's not a whole bunch of loud people.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
daytime Ybor.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Yeah,
So-
it was nice. The first day when we came out to look at it, and the homecoming parade pretty much sold me.
Yeah.
Between that and the courthouse and just the downtown, I just loved it. Yeah, And this community is amazing, absolutely amazing. First, at least once a week, I get a reunion in my dining room because somebody will be ordering and somebody else walks in and they're like, hey, haven't seen you in forever. And it's amazing. But also throughout COVID, throughout all of that, we had people coming in 3 times a week because they did not want us to close. And they would say specifically, like, I just don't want to see you close, so I'm going to keep supporting you. And they were amazing. Yeah. And if we were still in Sefner, we would never have made it through that. Like, it's just an amazing community. Yeah. So the more I get to know the people here, the more I love it.
And then you understand that everyone knows the other person over there and that person over there. Like, oh, yeah. And it's just...
Like somebody adds me on Facebook and I'm like, oh, we've got 15 mutual friends and I've only lived in Dade City for a year and a half. So all right, let's keep going. Yeah.
It's a cool town. It's a really, really cool town. So if someone came up to you guys and asked you for advice, they're just getting started, they're entrepreneurs. Now you know that they're passionate about what they're doing, that they're serious, and that they really are going to go all in. So they've come to you guys and they said, hey, this is my situation. You guys are successful. I'm just looking for just some general tips and tricks to be a successful entrepreneur. Not necessarily a restaurant, just in general. If someone came to you guys in that situation, what type of advice would you give to someone like that?
Keep track of money. You have to keep track of money. Figure out what you want to do, and you just got to start doing it. Yeah. I mean, you have to start. Right. If you're sitting in your bed, waking up in the morning, going, "Oh man, I wish I had my own company." Oh man, and you can't have a "woe is me" attitude.
No, you really can't.
You have to figure out what the bright side of everything. So, like she says, we're blessed that the schools thing. Now I can do business directly with the school. Yeah. So that's good.
The tree knocked out our electricity when we were supposed to open, shaved us thousands of dollars. And there's always a silver. I'm a firm believer that, like, God does things for a reason. Yep. You gotta just listen to what his plan is for you and follow it. And if it seems like it's going off track, stick with it and it'll be okay.
Was it Easter that you wanted to close on the Saturday and then the air went out?
Yes.
So she really wanted to close that Saturday before Easter. We're gonna be slow. This is whatever. And I'm like, no, we kind of
Friday. I wanted to close for Good Friday.
Close, yeah.
And we stayed open instead, and then Friday the air went out.
Completely out.
And we closed because of it. Yeah. My birthday, I wanted to close for my birthday, but I was like, you know what? Be a responsible business owner. Let's just open. Mm-hmm. And the electricity went out. And and then right when it came back up, like an hour and a half later, all of Spectrum in downtown Dade City went out.
I couldn't have been open if I wanted to. Wow. I felt bad at first because we're like, okay, if it doesn't come on by 11 o'clock, we have to cancel. We have a tree hopper's order. We're not going to be able to fulfill it if it doesn't come on at 11. Mm-hmm. So she calls her and we got the order canceled. I think it was like 11:15, and we're walking out the door. The power came back on. So now I feel bad.
And then 2 hours later, Spectrum went down and was down for the rest of the day. Yeah, and we wouldn't have been able to take phone calls,
credit cards,
or anything. Our Wi-Fi would have been down completely. Sure. So
then I felt better.
These things happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my advice would be customer relations and networking.
Sure. Take care of the customer.
Really, it's important. They're the reason that you have a business. And I don't think a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, I don't think a lot of unsuccessful business owners, what am I trying to say? These successful business owners know that their customers are the reason that they're successful.
Right. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And people who don't care are not going to succeed.
That doesn't mean the customer's always right.
Yeah,
so be careful. There is a fine line where it's like no. Yeah. But generally, you take care of the customer, and but you also have to realize. So if it's a restaurant, that if they don't like the food, it doesn't mean they're going to leave a bad review. It means they won't come back.
Yeah. But if they have bad customer service, they're probably going to leave a bad review.
That's the bad review.
Yeah.
If the food is is bad, but everyone was nice, they just won't come back. So if you don't see the same people over and over, now you need to figure out why.
On that note, feedback. Be willing to accept criticism.
Sure.
As long as it's constructive criticism, be willing to accept it. People who don't want to hear what you have to say about their product are probably not going to succeed.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Totally.
yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So, you guys have quite a bit going on with the restaurant, your new homeowners. You have some other stuff going on there. Do you guys have a relief valve? I mean, like, how do you guys just not let the stress of you seem pretty relaxed. I mean, how do you not let the stress of it just eat you alive?
Well, today we joined a gym.
Yeah.
Nice. Which one? Where'd you go?
We went to Planet Fitness.
Nice. Okay.
I needed a 24-hour gym that was reasonably priced.
Love it. Yeah. Love it.
So what we think treadmill today. I did back. Then I did treadmill again. That was relaxing because I drink too much soda.
Yeah.
It's not the pizza that gives me the belly; it's the soda.
All the sugar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's bad. But that's something that we're just starting to do. When I feel up to it, we go shooting.
Okay.
So I haven't shot in a while.
Okay.
What else do we do?
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon.
Video games. We play video games.
games.
Like, usually I binge watch some kind of, we're watching Lost again now.
We're rewatching Lost,
Like,
yeah.
So, vegetation at home.
Sure.
But that's why we got the gym memberships, because it was a lot of vegetation at home in our downtime, and so
It's too
now
much,
gym
yeah.
memberships.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to, when you own the business and it's working, it's hard to turn it off. So there's times where I'll just be watching TV and I'll tell her something and she says, "Shut up. I don't want to hear about it right now."
Yeah.
Because we're relaxing. It's the end of the night. We've worked all day.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's. I don't know if there is a real relief valve.
Yeah. Okay.
And there
Okay.
are things, like, I haven't been in a while, but, like, the brew house does their trivia nights on Mondays.
We did that a
and
couple
so,
times.
like, going to things like that, it's fun. It's just hard to get that energy when you work so many hours to
Yeah.
actually go out and do
Yeah, I
it.
understand.
But,
Yeah.
When your feet are hurting so bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there are things that can be done,
Like what?
like trivia night at the brew house.
I don't drink.
I
Like I don't drink.
Neither does Lexi, but she goes with us. It's fun.
I don't drink anything.
So what about like any good books you guys are reading, podcasts you're listening to, any video games you're playing, anything like that? I mean, books that aren't your own.
I've got a friend who got me into reading these Dead House books.
Okay.
Eric Stevenson or Steven Erickson. I can't ever remember his name.
Dead House. Okay.
But it's a series, and they're fantasy novels. They're military fantasy novels, and they are really, really good, but also very, very difficult reads.
Okay.
Just because there's so much going on, and they're good. Once you get into them, the first half of the book, it's like, I don't know what's going on, and then you get pulled into it, and you understand what's going on, and then it's over.
Okay.
Just
Gotcha.
like that.
Oh, it's like Lost.
But there's a series. I think there's 10 in the series, and I'm on the third one. And so
I don't read.
Gotcha.
I play video games.
Yeah, I listen to books, the Audible. I mean, I don't necessarily read, but I listen to a lot of stuff. I mean, all right, guys, we're gonna start winding this thing down. I mean, are there any topics that we didn't cover that you want to talk about? Are there any things that we did cover that you want to go a little more in depth and detail on? Anything at all you guys want to talk about?
do you want to talk about?
So we can talk about it for a second. So we have another family we're going to work with.
Okay.
And we still have to sign the lease. But we have the permit guy coming tomorrow to make sure we don't need any permits for what we're doing. But we're hoping to put a putt-putt in Dade City.
Okay.
Indoor
putt-putt.
mini
Nice.
golf.
Okay.
We haven't
arcade.
decided if it's black light or LEDs yet.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things up in the air. We've been waiting to say something until we sign the lease, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be signing the lease this week.
Okay.
Or at least like confirming the lease this week, because we've already kind of confirmed with the property owner what we want to do, and we're all on the same page.
He's
Okay.
putting new ACs in.
Yeah.
So
But that'll be our next venture, and we're not going to say we're not going to announce our partners until we've
Sure.
confirmed everything.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I get it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's a local family, and we're really excited.
So where did the idea for that come from?
We were kind of talking about it, and then they were kind of talking about it too.
I told Robert that the only other businesses I'm willing to open are arcade or a shooting range.
Okay.
And then our friends came to us and they were like, we've always wanted to open an arcade.
Yeah.
So so if we don't get the spot, we're gonna look for another spot around town. So
it'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
Just depending on whether or not we get this location.
But there's nothing for anybody to do here. It's all bars.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So I mean, I don't want people going to Wesley Chapel to go do whatever.
Sure.
I want Dan from Pasco Smart.
Yeah.
He said we need people to live here, and he's right. You need people to live here. So Dacia's got the Spoke, and she's trying to do stuff there. We're gonna try to do the putt putt. Because you have bar,
Bank.
bank. Restaurant, then the comic
You
store.
need something fun for the kids to
Yeah,
do. The
I get it.
comic
Totally.
store
Comic stores
is great. And then Uptown Creamery. They've
Creamery.
always got like a room full of... It's a good spot for kids to go, you know? And I think we need that here. We need somewhere for high school students to go so they're not getting into trouble outside,
Sure.
And somewhere for families to take their kids. And
Sure.
so that's the goal.
So do you guys know about running a putt-putt place, or just another thing you're just going to figure it out as you go?
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love playing putt-putt.
Yeah. And so this
probably
is why,
as much as he enjoys eating pizza.
So this is why you guys were said you're not going to do the game nights at the restaurant because of this.
We
Right.
think we're going to tie it into that. So
Makes sense.
it's close enough to the restaurant. When we're open and they're open, we're just going to deliver pizzas. When if someone wants pizza, we can deliver it there.
Yeah.
Figure out what we're going to do. I want to put a food truck out there, but I don't know yet. It's all evolving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I get it.
just
It's exciting.
like I said, you just got to start it. You got to do something.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's going to sit in your head forever.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Okay, so all right, guys. So we'll wind this thing down here. So we're going to end this with what I call my 3 quick question round. Just 3 quick questions. Question number 1: how would you define the word entrepreneur?
Someone who's willing to take a risk, fail, take another risk, possibly fail again, and then succeed.
Yeah.
That's
Perfect.
Yeah.
So leads perfectly into my next question. Question number 2: how would you define the word success?
ooh, it's gonna be different for everybody.
That's why I love the question. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Success to me is controlling as much as you can in terms of your life. So if you clock in and clock out, you could be fired. If you own the company, now it's up to you and nobody else.
See, and success to me is being content in your life and having something that your mama can be proud of.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that to me is success. Like
Building
as soon as
something.
building something of your own that you can eventually give to your I don't have kids, but I have nieces and nephews, like something I can give to my nieces and a legacy that I can
Yeah, I
give
guess so.
them.
Yeah, legacy
Yeah.
would be something.
But my biggest goal in life, like as far as success is concerned, is just to be content with what I have and what I'm doing, and I enjoy what I'm doing. So, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay, question number 3: when you think of the word successful, who comes to mind?
Your sort of brother Michael comes to mind. For
Oh
me.
yeah, Mike.
He's worked really
The person
hard.
I know,
He has a
yeah.
locksmithing business, and he's worked really hard for a really long time. And now, when
He has
you
real estate.
when you
and-
see him, he just looks happy. His family always looks happy. To me, that's success.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would go with Mike. Everyone else, I'm trying to think of anybody else, but I think he's probably the best because he started delivering pizzas, saved his money, did the locksmithing, saved his money, bought houses,
Worked hard.
doesn't do mortgages, just bought it outright and
Yeah.
makes it off rent.
Sounds successful to me.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely. Okay, so guys, how can people find you? I mean, we've talked about your website, you're on Facebook, but plug it all again. Give your website, your social media stuff, any events or anything you have coming up, any specials or anything, just plug all your stuff.
Sure, it's APO Dade City is the Facebook page, and it's AmericanPizzaOven.com for the website. You can call us. It's 352-437-3497. Or Google us, and all of our information pops up there, just American Pizza Oven. Or you can just stop by the restaurant. It's right downtown Dade City, across from the courthouse and Dade City Hall, and right next to the government center, I think.
Yeah, behind us is... We're attached to Cocopelli's and Rolando's. So
Okay.
we're all the same block.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not the courthouse. The Pasco tax collectors is behind us. In front of us is the historic courthouse. And on the other side is Town Hall, the police station.
Just follow the Pokestops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leads right to us.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Right on. Well, Robert and Jessica, thanks a lot for being here. This has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed this conversation. This has been fantastic. And everyone else, thanks a lot for tuning in. If you've enjoyed the show, then just please share it around so other people can find us as well. The best way for new listeners to find the show is for our current listeners to talk about us. So give us a like, drop us a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. I'm your host, Eric Baker, and this has been another episode of The Art of Business. Bye for now.